Hi, I'm Jenny with Show Me Cute, and today I have a shoe project for you that I would like to call bow sandals. I took this pair of T-strap sandals that were plain and I added a bow to them just to kind of make them a little bit cuter and a little bit fancier. I found this particular pair as well as a few other colors at Payless Shoe Source. And I will list on the blog all of the different stores that I have found that carry these shoes at an inexpensive price. So I'm going to show you how I did this bow on this cute pink pair of shoes. And you're going to need a 1-inch grosgrain ribbon, whatever ribbon you desire to go on your shoe. I picked pink on pink and black on black and steered away from a pattern simply because when you have a pattern on the shoe and a pattern on your clothing, sometimes those can conflict. And so just for my OCD brain, I would rather keep the shoes plain unless I'm gonna have something go with a specific outfit. But in this case, I want them to be everyday use, and so I'm going to make them plain. I made my bow, I started with the first strip about 7.5 inches. And then I cut another piece 5 inches. I think it was 5 inches. And I'm going to do that. And so what I did with this bow, I will also post a link on the blog that has about 3 different ways of showing you how to tie a bow. And you can pick which version you like the best. I'm picking this version because it gives us a nice, flat, pretty bow that's not all scrunched up in the middle. So I'm going to take the ribbon and I've put a little dollop of glue. And you don't want to put a whole lot of glue on there because it will make it stiff in the middle and not be able to bend. So, and then I overlapped it about 1/2 inch on each of the sides. The next thing you're going to need is a needle and thread. This was the easiest way that I found to secure the bow. So I have my loop, and I'm going to hold that in one hand. And this 5-inch strip is going to end up being the tails. If you can see right here, the strip across there is what you call a tail of a bow. And so I have that on there. And I made it a little long just so I don't cut myself short. And I have a piece of thread on here, and it is tied in a knot at the bottom, just the way you would normally use a sewing needle. And so I'm just going to go through here and do a slip stitch all the way down. And then I'm going to pull it so that it gathers the bow. And you can see right here that that piece didn't overlap, but I don't think it's going to matter because our center piece will cover that up. I haven't had that happen on the other ones, but I wasn't careful enough. Okay, so I'm going to pull that, and then I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go back through. I pulled it to where I wanted it, and then I pull back through, and then take it and go around a couple of times. And you get your nice little bow. Actually, you were supposed to go around and around and then back through, if that makes sense. So I did my slip stitch, I scrunched it, then you're going to go around the ribbon 2 to 3 times and then go back through, and we're going to tie it off. So I've tied a little knot, done that. Okay, like I said, this I should have had that included in there, but once we get the center on it, it won't matter. So I have a piece that's just under 3 inches, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to put a little piece of glue on there. I don't want my centerpiece to be quite as wide as 1 inch. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue and fold it in half. And I'm going to put a little dot of glue on the front of the bow. And hold that there for a minute without burning myself. Then I'm going to tuck that back just so that it doesn't get caught up. Put a piece of glue on there and fold one of my sides over. And when that's a little secure there, I'm going to cut the end of that off with my scissors. And then I'm going to put another piece of glue and bring the other side around, and making sure I'm centered there. And cut that off. Then, so that doesn't separate, I'm going to glue that little side down. Okay, now we have a super cute bow. My tails are a little bit long, so I'm going to cut them off about there. And then to keep, the very last step, to keep your ribbon from fraying on the edges, you want to take a little fire. There's a couple of different things you can do. If you have a sewing machine and the same color thread, you could roll that over a couple of times and do a stitch across. Or you can also take a flame and ever so slightly, you don't want to get too close because then it'll burn it uneven. And you just barely singe the edges of it and it will not fray on you. But you want to do it so slightly that it doesn't show up dark on there. Then I'm going to take one last dot of glue, put a nice big dot on that one. And I'm going to go on my sandal and I'm just going to hot glue it right on there. Now if this is not the way you want to do your bow and you just want to tie one, feel free to look at the other versions that I'll put the link for. And that is what we look like. Yay, how cute are those? I'm going to finish up the bow on that one and I'll take pictures and post those on the blog as well. I finished my second bow and look how adorable these shoes are. I am so excited to see my little girl wear them. I would wear them myself if I can find the right shoe for me, and I will be on the hunt. So for a list of all the supplies as well as the stores that I shopped, you can go to showmecute.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check back later for another super cute idea.